What's up, everybody? Happy 2020 and welcome to another episode of the Rideshare Hub. My name's Greg. I wanted to talk to you guys post New Year's Eve, crazy stories. I had some wild ones last night. I worked for 14 hours. So I did plenty of rides, talked to plenty of people, had plenty of experiences, and there's a few stories in particular that I thought were just like incredible from the night. So wanted to share those with you guys. Real quick, I just wanted to talk to you guys about a service called Cargo Snack Box. This is a really legit service. Basically, this company sends you a box of goodies for free, and then you make money selling them. So let's just really think about that statement. And what is that? Well, that's called a no-brainer. You get a box of stuff for free, and then you sell it and make more money. Like, what are we really debating here? So link in the description, guys. Top drivers on it say they earn an additional $300 a month, and the average driver makes an extra $100 a month on it. That's good money. I mean, that's $1,200 a year if you're an average driver, and God, a lot more. What, $3,600 if you're a good driver? A good salesman, I guess, is better. But seriously, I mean, for your nighttime munchy rides you're given, like, I think this is a no-brainer, you know. So check it out. Link in the description. It's definitely worth your time. Good thing to start your year out with to make some more cash. So, oh man, well, for one, I was actually incredibly frustrated with the night. I don't know if you guys saw my earnings video, but I finished with about $375. That ended up totaling out to about $25 an hour, I believe. I did $25 in cash tips, $36 on Lyft, and I believe like $315 on Uber. Oh, man. The reason why it was so maddening is I probably should have made at least an extra 100, but I did some really stupid things. I broke some of my own rules, chased a surge that ended up hurting me for like an hour, didn't use Lyft enough times. That hurt me at the end. I'll tell you guys this real quick, but I ran out of driving time, and I needed to give one more ride to get a $35 Quest from Uber, and I was in a $5 surge. If I had had even 30 more minutes of driving time, I would have made it at the very least an extra $45, but probably more like 50, 55. So I was like so freaking salty when that happened. Like, everything else in the day would have been fine if I could have at least finished on that one ride. But the one really cool thing, so this was kind of the silver lining from my night, is the last ride I gave, this lady, I picked her up in literally the nicest neighborhood I've ever driven in the city. I don't know how I've never found it. It was like super hidden. And she told me that a bunch of like really famous actors all live in that neighborhood. So that was pretty cool. But what was awesome was she was like, hey, I have like a ton of food from this like really, nice rich person party she was just at. And she was like, would you want it? I was like, are you kidding me? Heck yes. So she gives me this giant, like, the like paper Whole Foods bags stuffed to the top. And it, there was like this like chicken, all this chicken that had been like with like mushroom chicken, I guess you'd call it. I don't know. But it was like in this like mushroom gravy. And I took a bite of it when I got home cold, and I literally stopped dead in my tracks. It tasted so good. I literally froze. I was like, oh my God, this is unreal. And then it had like this really nice like artesian bread, these like weird glazed like muffin cupcake things. I don't know what they were, but like, again, ridiculous. And then this giant vault of like really nice fettuccine Alfredo. So I really felt like I got like $100 in food. So I was like, that's fine. This, like, it's gonna last me like a full week, like for 2-3 meals a day if I want it to. So I was super stoked about that. It kind of boosted my mood, being that I wasn't gonna be making an extra 50 at the end of the night. I was like, well, at least I got like $100 in food. So that was the silver lining. Some other tips. Let's see. I found a Juul. I don't Juul. I used to. Someone etched the letters high into it. I don't know if you guys can see that. I found a Juul. It currently looks like a fairy barfed in my back seat. There's glitter and stringers everywhere. It's actually not as dirty as I thought it would be. And I found something else. What was it? Oh God, yeah, wallet. I've got to figure that out today. It wasn't a good thing. I've got to go drop off someone's wallet, and I think I know who it was, and I think it was someone from one of the stories I'm going to tell you guys. But I actually made some new friends last night. That was a silver lining. I really connected with this group of girls, and they wanted to hang out, and I was like, sweet, cool. So I made some friends. There's another. I'm like really convincing myself right now that I didn't have a bad night, and I made $25 an hour. Can't really complain. So here's the main story. This was crazy. It was almost really annoying. But I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna be in a chill mood tonight, like no matter what I make, because people are out here to have fun, and I'm in a business of people, you know, so no matter what it is, I'm gonna have fun. So it's like 11:30, probably 11:15, 11:30, so you know, half an hour before the ball drops. And I roll up to this neighborhood, and I go past these three teens that, like, I didn't know what they were doing, like shooting off fireworks or something, but I drove past them because I didn't think it was them. Well, it turns out it was them, which I was already like, oh, great, you know, because they're already being loud, and right away they greeted me with a very obscene name, which, like, and it really wasn't offensive. I just can't say it. But I didn't bat an eye. I, responded right back, and I just kind of played it off like, hey, I'm a cool driver. Like, you don't have to, be weird around me or anything like that. So I kind of eased their minds right away. But it's the funniest thing. So they're all just like, I mean, you can just tell they're bad kids, So one of them was actually 22, and the other two were 16. So I thought that was odd right away. And they're talking about how they need to figure out how to get some alcohol, how to get some weed, da 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 da. And then they asked me, they're like, "Can you get us either thing?" I was like, "No, like, are you kidding me? First of all, I'm not buying alcohol for underage, and go get your medical card if you want the other stuff." So first they ask if they can stop at a gas station. And I was like, yeah, whatever, because it was like, I had I think 30 to 40 minutes until midnight. And so I knew I had time to blow anyways. I knew I probably wouldn't give any rides. And they were actually taking a longer ride. It was like a 30-minute ride, and it was actually going in a direction I wanted to go. So I wasn't disappointed with the ride, like as just a ride where it was going. So we're driving, and then the first thing they ask is if they can play their mixtapes. So I'm like, oh yeah, go for it. And then, I'm gassing them up, telling them it's like the dopest thing I've heard in a long time. And then they're calling me. They're like, "Bro, you the GOAT Uber driver." I'm like, "Thanks." Like, I don't know, like, what I really did to deserve that esteemed title, but thank you. So we go to the gas station, and then, I mean, God, these dudes were broke. Like, I thought I had some tough financial times. They're trying to figure out how they can buy 40s. And the one dude's like, "Yo, ask your mom for $20, da 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 da." So I was like, you know what, I'm going to mess with these kids. So I was like, hey, you guys know what a sidewalk slammer is? And I'm acting like it's like real cool, because for whatever reason, they looked up to me. And they're like, no, what's that? And I was like, well, I'm just going to warn you, like, you're going to get real trashed if you get this. And a sidewalk slammer, I've never had it, but a girl in Uber told me about it. And she was, I think, some college student from like Massachusetts or something, right? And she said it's a real big thing up there. And so what you do is you buy a 40 and you buy a 4 Loko, and I believe you chug half the 40, and then you get a big gulp cup from 7-Eleven, like the huge 48-ounce foam cup, and you fill it up with some ice. Oh, weird, there's literally a hummingbird right over my car. Random, sorry guys. I always do stuff like that in these videos. I don't know why I do that. Like y'all give a crap that there's a hummingbird over my car. And so what you do is, this what this girl was telling me, is you chug half the 40, and then you put ice in the cup, and you mix the rest of the 40 and the 4 Loko in the cup. And it's called sidewalk slammer. Like, self-explanatory. You're gonna probably face plant into concrete if you drink that, and probably clog your arteries and have an early heart attack. So they literally do it. They go in after this dude's mom cash apps him. They go in, and then they're like, on the concrete, pounding the 40s, and then looking in the windshield, giving me a thumbs up, and I'm like, go for it, just gassing them up for literally no reason at all. So then and the funniest thing was, like, God, like, they were, like, so out of touch with reality. So they had to have the 22-year-old go buy the alcohol, obviously. And, and it's not my job to be a chaperone. Like, I'm not going to be like, hey, guys, you shouldn't be doing that, because for one, A, they're not going to listen. And, two, they're not going to listen. And three, it's not my role. I'm here to drive them from point A to point B safely. What else they do, not on me. So the 16-year-old's got to give the 22-year-old his credit card that has his mom's money on it that he just sent me. So then he's like, oh, wait, bro. But he's like, they're going to ID you. And in my head, I'm like, well, yeah, no freaking duh. They're going to ID you. You're buying alcohol. Like, what'd you think would happen? Well, I realized they weren't even talking about IDs. They were talking about the credit card. And I was like, in this point, I'm getting annoyed because we're just sitting in here chatting, and I'm like trying to get on. So I was like, all right, guys. And so then they were talking about, he's like, okay, just go and take it out from the ATM. I was like, here's what's going to happen. I was like, your mom just sent you $20. You're going to lose $3.50 of that from a transaction fee from the ATM. I was like, they're not going to ID the name on the credit card. They're going to ask for your ID. It's usually a self-service machine anyways. You're going to swipe it yourself. I was like, you're fine. Just go in, get the freaking alcohol. And then the one dude's like, oh, that's why I used to go an Uber driver. And I'm like, why are you saying that? Like... So they go in and buy the alcohol. I'm like getting to the craziest part of the night. So the craziest part of the night with these cats is that I'm taking them home and going into this really nice apartment. Really nice housing community. I would literally say all the homes were like 500K plus. Beautiful homes. And it's got the big guard hut, and they got a dude posted in there on New Year's, so we roll up, and he was like, just roll up and I'll roll down my window. He knows me. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So it sounded pretty chill. So this old dude steps out of the guard hut, and he's like, you need to stop impersonating your father. He's screaming at this kid. And I was like, oh my God, like, holy cow. Like, this dude's impersonating his dad. This guard's yelling at him. He was like, da-da-da-da. He's like, I'm sick of you. He's like, you're sneaking in here, and your dad told me explicitly you and your friends aren't allowed in here after 9 p.m. You got to be in before 9. And he's like, whoa, I never impersonated my dad. What are you talking about? Da-da-da. So they're sitting there bickering. Finally, I was like, I rolled down my window. I was like, excuse me, sir. I was like, just an Uber driver. I'm literally trying to get home. I was like, I'm sorry. I was like, I'm literally trying to get out there and work. This is like the best night of the year. I was like, I know this is really frustrating, but I was like, can we just let this go? Everybody has a good new year, and you guys figure it out tomorrow or something so that I can keep working and pay my bills. And then he was like, yeah, I'm sorry. And then he looked at the kid. He was like, do it again. I'm calling the effing cops. I'm sick of this effing SHIT because I don't want to cuss on YouTube. Yeah, and then I drive them through, and they looked at that move that I did as me trying to like finesse them through. And they're like dapping me up, screaming, laughing. They're like, oh, it's so dope. Putting me on Snapchat. And I literally was like, guys, I'm literally just trying to go work. Like, I'm not trying to kick it with you guys. But that was probably like my craziest ride of the night. It was just really random and really, really confusing. No pukers, no one even close. I've got another story, but it's way longer. I'm gonna have to do another video for you guys. So I'm gonna do another video on another crazy story from last night. But yeah, that was my wild experience with two teens and a 22-year-old. It was full of mixtapes, cheap alcohol, and it reeked of bad decisions. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to like it, subscribe to the channel. But yeah, more content coming soon, guys. Happy New Year, and go kill it out there.